Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are at the South Boston Speedway with the Leave the Pack Street Stock Showdown. We've got, I think, 22 cars on the property, scheduled to go 100 laps of feature racing. It's going to be an exciting one here this evening. So we've got a couple drivers in the field that have wins so far this season, and a couple that are looking for that first one.
All good.
Real quick, gotta make sure you guys can't hear iRacing chat. There we go. Notice that out of the corner of my eye, you guys could hear the driver comms. Would not want that midway through. So let's take a look at the point standings coming into this evening. Up on screen, Dylan Connor sitting atop after 3 races. Connor Knowlton in the second spot, has 1 win so far this season. 1 at Kern County in the opener. Mark Keedeman, your winner last week at Southern National, jumps up to the 3rd spot. And Keedeman doing really good in the points because he's only got 2 starts compared to everybody else's 3. He's up inside of the top 3 already. We'll have to keep an eye on that number 2 machine here tonight. Austin Godfrey in the 1 machine unfortunately couldn't make it here tonight, so he will give up that 4th spot in points. You look throughout your top 5, it's fairly close throughout the field. I mean, all top 12 right there within the same 47 points. .90 degrees here at South Boston on iRacing this evening. 95 track temp, actually not as hot as I think we expected. Track going to be still a little bit slick throughout the evening, which is going to create some pretty fun racing. These guys are going to be leaning on that right rear tire quite a bit, and they're going to have to make it last all 100 laps. They don't have a set down in the pits to save them if they get a little bit out of shape. It'll be something we have to keep an eye on all night long. I think it's supposed to cool off a little bit as the sun goes down, but that's going to be later in the race. Justin Coleman on track. He's a 4-time winner in the Street Stock Showdown. Actually, all those wins coming in the first season of Street Stock Showdown competition. His last win coming back on August 28th of 2024. It's been quite a while since Coleman has seen victory lane in the Street Stock Showdown. And how about this driver right here, the 91 machine of Dylan Connor? This is going to be a home track race for him from Halifax, Virginia. The points leader coming into tonight's race. Is this going to be the night where he can break through and capture the victory? He's had some pretty good runs this season, including 3rd place last week at Southern National. Two top 5 finishes and 3 top 10s. So he's been lights out for these first couple races. We'll see if he can pick up the victory. One driver that has seen victory lane this season, Justin Brooks in the 33 machine. He went to victory lane in the 2nd race of the season back at the new Smyrna Speedway. Led 18 laps. Dalton Ledbetter led 30 laps in that race. But Justin Brooks led the final 18, the most important ones, and found himself in victory lane. One of the winningest drivers in Leave the Pack iRacing League history is Brooks. 10 wins on or with the league. Most of those coming in late model stocks last season. But he did get that win in the street stocks, like I said. Qualifying coming up here shortly. These drivers are getting those final practice runs in. Let's take a look at the schedule here. Obviously, did not get the two machine of Kedeman did not get the number updated there, but he won at Southern National. At South Boston this week, IRP next week, Five Flags the week after that. Got a couple tracks coming up that are very different. South Boston, close quarters, kind of like Southern National last week. And then IRP, the biggest track that we go to on the schedule. Those drivers are going to have a lot of room. And they're really going to be slipping and sliding, trying to get that car up off the corner. And then Five Flags, everybody familiar with that one. Going to be a fun race there. These cars are a ton of fun. You can really bunch up in a pack, and it's often hard to pass, but makes for really fun racing. So that's going to be a good one. And then the week after, the shortest track on the schedule, Slinger, going to be an action-packed race, the second 100-lapper of the season. We'll see who can tackle the tough quarter mile in a couple weeks. Let's see if we can't go trackside and find one of these drivers in Discord here. How about Zach Murphy pulling out onto the racetrack? We'll see if we can't grab a word from Zach. Zach Murphy up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, well, sitting in the 16th spot on the board right now, making a couple practice laps, I see in turns 1 and 2. How's it feeling there at South Boston tonight? It's pretty hot in the air. How's the track?
Yeah, it's a little greasy out there. You definitely want to be a ginger on the throttle on your exit, and not too hard on the brakes on entry. Definitely wants to get a little loose, but definitely gonna make for some good racing later.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun one. We got 100 laps here tonight. What's it going to take to get to the end and have tire to be there and then also avoid the chaos? What's it going to be like trying to drive your way through the field?
Yeah, hopefully we won't have to start too far back, but I think it's going to be a lot of tire management and then having Lady Luck on your side just to, like you said, avoid the chaos and just keeping your nose clean and, yeah, saving the tires is going to be key, I think, with how greasy the track is. So keeping that right rear happy is going to be key.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big factor in tonight's race. Well, it's qualifying time for you, Zach. I'll let you get to doing your thing, but we wish you luck, and hopefully we can talk to you later on.
Yeah, hopefully we can finally put a run together in this season, the street stocks. And yeah, thank you for the great broadcast. Hopefully we can talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Alrighty, that was Zach Murphy. He's a winner in the Street Stock Showdown, actually, way back in Season 1, Race 4 at Langley. He went to victory lane July 24th, so about 11 months ago to date. And qualifying underway, we'll see who is on track first. Looks like the 51 machine of Connor Lee making his way out onto the Speedway. He had a good run going at the New Smyrna Speedway, the Kern County Raceway Park to open up the season before we had technical difficulties. The monitor went black on him coming out of 4, got up into the wall. Second lap time for Lee. Slows down a little bit, right now sitting in the second spot. Next driver out on the racetrack. Brandon Kelly in the 9 machine, winner of the B feature last week. Brandon's the Discord comedian. Tends to post some of the funnier things in the chat throughout the week, but we'll see what he can do in qualifying here. Brandon calls Murrells Inlet, South Carolina home. He's been on iRacing for 2 years now. We'll see what he can do out of turns 3 and 4. Across the line that time. A 16:41. That'll put him 11th quick. And oh, second lap, a little bit squirrely out of the corner there. And that's going to do it for qualifying for Brandon Kelly. How about this driver now, the Murfreesboro, Tennessee, number 14 machine. 4-time winner in street stock competition, like I mentioned earlier on. This is Justin Coleman. 16:27. He's going to be in that 7th spot. How about last week's winner? He did a good job. Started in the 2nd spot after the invert and ended up driving away from the get-go. Took the lead down into turns 1 and 2. Keateman first lap time, a 16:18. He'll go to the 4th spot. We'll see what he can do out of turns 3 and 4. Second time around, he'll slow down a little bit. One more driver left to go. Dylan Connor out of turns 3 and 4. He'll go to the top spot, a 16:14 for Dylan Connor, top of the board. One of the last drivers to qualify, and he's going to go quick time on the night. 16:14 will put him to the top of the board. Not quite the track record. Last season, it looks like they were in the 15.8s. Wanted to fact check myself to see where we were at time-wise. A couple other drivers, I think, hopping in. Noah Allison making the trip. He got in here. I don't know if he's made a start this season. I don't believe so. We'll see if he makes it in time to qualify or if he'll have to go through the B. But I think everybody going to make it here tonight. We've got 24 cars scheduled to make it. 20 are going to go through qualifying, then 4 through the B. So if we only have 24, this will be a 4-car B feature, it looks like. Everybody going to make it. Alrighty, let's see our starting grid. 4 cars set to go. Looks like Justin Mulliken is the only car on track right now. Rob Hattenbach and Justin Brooks not able to make the call. I think Noah Allison is going to end up making it. We'll see here in a moment. But nonetheless, 20 cars at least, or 21 cars at least, going into tonight's A feature. All right. I don't know. I don't think Allison's quite going to make it here. He will transfer to the A if he's going to make, or I think he's going to transfer finishing in the top 4. But Justin Mulliken going to be given a 15-lap free practice session. But Mulliken going to obviously transfer into tonight's A feature. There was set to be 24 cars. We have 24 cars, but I think a couple of them might have not been able to race. Does not look like Justin Brooks is going to be able to make it in the 33. But Justin Mulliken down into turns 3 and 4, going to get the green flag. He will have 15 laps of practice here. We'll see if we can't grab some words from our drivers. We'll get the qualifying results up on screen as well, as Mulliken gets those 15 laps of practice in. There we go. Results up on screen. Don't know what happened there. But our fast qualifier tonight, Dylan Connor, the points leader. We'll see if we can't get him up into the broadcast booth. Up into the booth. Dylan Connor, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, fast qualifier here tonight. Points leader coming into the evening. You're going to start from the 6th spot after the redraw. What can you do to put that 91 machine in victory lane?
I think the big key is for me tire saving. 100 laps, and it's real slick out there. So I think just keeping the nose clean and keeping the tires on it and having a shot to be there at the end is the main thing.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to keep the tires on. I talked to Zach Murphy about that as well. But other things, you're starting from the 6th spot. We saw it was kind of hard to pass last week at Southern National. I know that was a big talking point in the Discord. Do you think that it's kind of going to be a similar thing tonight? Do you think it's going to be a little bit easier to pass? What do you think?
I think it'll be a little bit better because of it being so slick. I think after, I'd say, 20, 30 laps, you'll really be able to tell who's, got the better car. And I think from that point on, with as slick as it is, I think you'll be able to make passes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well. With the longer race, you guys are going to have to keep the tires on it a little bit longer. It's going to bring out who can save, who can't. So it's going to be a fun one. You're going to be starting from the 6th spot here this evening, fast qualifier. Congratulations, and we wish you luck, Dylan Connor.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty, that was your fast qualifier and points leader. That's going to be 5 bonus points to him on top of his points lead that he already had. So I'm sure he's excited about that. I know a couple drivers unable to make it. I know Brian Grable was really trying to make it here this evening, but had to do the iRacing update, so was unable to make it for tonight's race. Hopefully he's down in chat below at some point. We're missing you, Grable. But 5 laps to go for Justin Mulliken in the last chance qualifier / final practice. But this is going to be a fun race. We've got 17 cars, it looks like. Or sorry, 18 cars. Noah Allison did make it out in the 24. So it will be 22 starting the A. Top 20 transferred. Keep getting myself confused in my head because initially I had it as 16, but we transferred 20 at the end. But going to be an exciting race. Last week we had 24 cars at Southern National, 2 cautions the whole time in 75 laps. I was kind of impressed. I know a lot of these drivers were maybe impressed / annoyed. I think they might have wanted a couple more cautions just to spice things up a little bit. But South Boston, very close quarters. Going to have a lot of opportunities for these guys to get bumper to bumper, door to door, and Mulliken on the final lap. I think he actually looped it there. I don't think he got the checkered flag just yet. So I think that's going to be it. Mulliken puts it in victory lane for the last chance qualifier. No Allison going to come across the line. That's the good thing about iRacing there. They get a reset down in the pits. They're not wadded. But it is feature time. It looks like the sun is starting to set just a little bit. Let's look at the track temp one more time and see if it's dropped any. And it looks like it hasn't. Still at 95 degrees. So that is good. These guys get a 3-minute warm-up session. Everybody gets to get those final adjustments made before the 100-lap main event. But folks, let me know who you're cheering for down in the chat below. I know we got a couple people watching. See, good luck, Mark Keteman and Kathleen. Keteman, your winner last week at Southern National. Would love to go back-to-back. That was his first Street Stock Showdown win in quite some time. His last one coming back at Stafford February 5th of 2025. And the last time he won there, he actually won the week before too at USA. So the last time Keteman won Street Stock Showdown race, he won back-to-back. We'll see if it happens here tonight. This race is going to be a fun one. South Boston's a pretty unique track because as small as it is, not that many opportunities to pass. The outside lane is actually really good. You're able to roll the outside, keep your momentum wound up. You can really pinch the car to the inside down. But it opens up for some aggressive racing, I can tell you that. Especially in 100 laps in a street stock, you're going to see some feathers ruffled, I think. It's going to be exciting, though. We all get to watch it unfold. Folks, if you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button for more iRacing content here on the WD Broadcasting Network. Pretty soon we're going to be, I think, upgrading the PC, and I'll be doing a lot more streams of my own, actual racing streams. You guys can see me behind the wheel if that's something you guys would want to see. But plenty more Leave the Pack iRacing League Street Stock Showdown content coming your way. We'll look at the schedule one more time before we send them green. South Boston tonight, IRP next week. That's going to be a fun one. Multi-groove. We've seen many great moments at IRP in the street stocks. We've raced there 2 times previously. 5 Flags, Slinger, even throughout the season. Bristol's going to be a fun one. It's going to be really an interesting race. I think we're going to see a lot of pack racing at Bristol, so got that one circled on my calendar for sure. But all going to be broadcasted live right here on the WD Broadcasting Network. So if you guys don't want to miss it, make sure you hit that red subscribe button before we go green flag racing. And it's now time to head trackside and look at our starting lineup. The invert was a 6, your fast qualifier. Dylan Connor going to start from the 6th spot. But we'll look at where they're going to roll off. Matt Borndren going to start from the pole here tonight in the 00 machine. He'll have last week's winner, Mark Keteman, in the 2nd spot. He started 2nd last week Can he go back-to-back? We're going to find out. Two-time champion Brandon Elvis going to roll off from the 3rd spot. He'll have Trevor Edwards in the 21 machine. Actually, in the 32 machine, sorry. Starting from the 4th spot. Connor Knowlton going to roll off on the inside of row number 3. He'll have your fast qualifier, Dylan Connor, to his outside in the 91. Zach Murphy going to start 7th in the 29. He'll have Easton Swain to his outside in the 8th spot. Connor Lee in the 51 going to roll off 9th next to Justin Coleman in the 14, going to round out the top 10. Ryan Pittman in the 11th spot in the 08 machine. Then Bailey Hughes in the 12 car in the 12th spot. Look back behind them. It'll be Brady Cox in the 76 machine starting 13th. Brad Carpenter going to start 14th in the 31. Jeremiah Woods going to roll off 15th in the 75 next to Brandon Kelly in the 9 machine starting 16th. Mark Keeler in the 108 going to start 17th next to Trey Ashworth in the 8 machine. Lance Sater and David Rigsby make up row number 10. Then rounding out your field in row number 11, Justin Mulliken on the bottom. And Noah Allison in the 24 machine up on the outside lane. Making up your 22 car starting lineup. '22 car field getting ready to go green here. It's in the hands of Matt Borndren and Mark Keedeman. So we go through turns 3 and 4 into the restart zone. They go. The green is up and the green is out. We're underway here at South Boston. Down into turns 1 and 2 they go. Everybody through the first set of corners. Keedeman going to take the early advantage on the outside lane. Looks like he's going to come around to lead lap number 1. Give it to Mark Keedeman from the get-go. Keedeman leads down into turns 1 and 2 on lap 2. Everybody back behind him starting to get single-filed out here. Trevor Edwards in the 21 machine. Had a good run last week, finished in, I believe, the 5th spot after starting 12th at Southern National. It looked very tough to pass all night long. So we are 4 laps in. They're battling side by side a little bit further back in the top 10. Easton Swain stuck up on the outside lane in the 33. And oh, there's caution. There's a caution back behind him. Trouble. The 24 of Noah Allison and Lance Sater involved as well. We'll take a look at what happened here. This is going down into turns 1 and 2. I think the 67 machine just got a little bit sideways, and around he went, and a big time pile up on the exit of turns 1 and 2. I think that's going to do it for the 67 machine. We'll see what happened here from his perspective. Yeah, you can see he just got a little bit sideways and it came back around on him. Nowhere for Noah Allison to go in the 24. We'll watch it on board with him. You can see the back end step out. He wanted to go high and there was just nothing he could do. He tried to get out of it, but 67 was right there. And both of those drivers down pit road. Under caution here for the first time. That was lap 4. We're now on lap 7. Caution laps are counting for the first time here this evening, or this season, I should say. So far, caution laps have not counted. But we get the 1 to go signal here. Keedeman going to choose the inside lane. Borndren going to be on the outside. We'll see everybody doubling up down the backstretch. And into turns 3 and 4. Pace car going to make the hard left turn. down onto pit road, and it's in the hands of Mark Keedeman and Matt Borndren. We are back underway on lap 9 of 100. Down into the first couple corners, Mark Keedeman has a big gap already down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Trevor Edwards underneath Matt Borndren for the second spot. A couple of Cottle Chassis teammates battling right there up inside of the top 5. There's Dylan Connor, the points leader and fast qualifier here tonight, already knocking on the door for the top 3. Brandon Elvis, your 2-time champion in the Street Stock Showdown. He had a good run last week at the Southern National Motorsports Park, finished in the second spot. His first top 5 of the season, his first top 10 of the season. Not the start of the season that he wanted, but hopefully wanting to turn things around. Currently just outside of the top 5 in the 6th spot. And oh, more trouble back behind him. Brandon Kelly torn up in the number 9 machine. Not sure what happened. I think Brad Carpenter was also a little bit sideways down into turns 1 and 2 as well. Take a look at what happened here. The 9 and the 31 were battling for the 14th spot. No, there was contact there. Not sure what happened, if Carpenter might have came off the wall or what exactly happened. Let's look at that one more time. Hopefully this gives us a better view. Yeah, it looked like just a disagreement on space there. Neither driver really moving much. See right here with the 9 machine. Looked like the 31 might have came off the wall just a little bit. And that puts us under yellow for a second time this evening. You see Carpenter and Kelly both down pit road. Carpenter had tough luck last week at the Southern National Motorsports Park. Got involved in a late race incident and the caution flag did not fly. Utilize automatic iRacing caution flags and leave the pack, and sometimes you get one, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get one when there shouldn't be a caution, and then sometimes somebody's all the way around and it doesn't throw the caution. So an unfortunate break for Brad Carpenter in the 31. Looks like he's going to get back out here. He'll have to catch the field as they double up and prepare to go back. Green flag racing. 16 laps in. 84 laps to go. Pace car back off. This time it's Trevor Edwards in the second spot. We're back racing here at South Boston. Good jump from the 21 machine in the second spot. He's going to be right on the back bumper of Keedeman down into turns 3 and 4. How about Dylan Connor in the 91 on the outside lane trying to take over the third spot from Matt Borndren. That outside lane looks pretty strong here early on. You see Brandon Elvis back behind him as well. Everybody under a blanket here, side by side throughout the top 10. Your front 2 starting to get away just a little bit, but Matt Borndren and Dylan Connor still side by side for the third spot. Connor Knowlton and Brandon Elvis behind him trying to find somewhere to go. There was a little bit of contact off of 4 that time. I think Connor might have slipped up a little bit in the 91. Borndren's going to be clear down the backstretch. As this time by, Mark Keedeman going to come around to complete lap number 20 here at South Boston. 80 laps to go. Connor Knowlton now trying to take advantage of the 91 machine being on that outside lane. And one thing about the top at South Boston, it's good, but you can only be up there for so long or those tires will get a little bit too hot. You have to get to the back to the bottom to cool them back down and get your rhythm back going. Right now, the 91 machine, though, still trying to move forward up on the outside lane. He's got the two-time champion Brandon Elvis underneath of him right now. Just shows you just how tight South Boston is. He's wanting to look to the inside. Can't quite find a lane underneath. Easton Swain back behind him. Up on the outside lane. Zach Murphy down underneath him. Murphy right now running in the 7th spot. Looks like he will get by. Ooh, somebody way sideways up off the corner that time. That was Ryan Pittman in the 08. He's underneath Brady Cox, and everybody just trying to find a way to go. Oh, they're 3 wide down the back. Easton Swain right there, I think, got shuffled out of line. And he went to the back in a hurry, all the way back to the 14th spot. He was battling with Zach Murphy. Murphy up to 7th. Out front, it is still Mark Keedeman hanging on to the race lead. We're just past a quarter of the way through race number 4 at South Boston. As things begin to settle down here, everybody starts to get single file. Trouble for Mark Keeler in the 108 machine. He's had trouble the front end off of that race car. And he jumped to the pits. I didn't quite get to see what happened. But this time by, it's going to be 30 laps in, 70 to go. 70 laps to go for Mark Keedeman. Everybody trying to find their way forward. Everybody just so close, though, on times and leave the pack. We're going to have to see who has what at the end. It's a long race, 100 laps. Tied with Slinger for the longest race of the season. You look at distance, this one's just a little bit longer. It's going to feel short. Right now, 30 laps in already. We've only been racing for just over 10 minutes, so going to be a quick one here. You have to get that track position early. Right now, Connor Knowlton knocking on the back door of Matt Borndren for the 5th spot. Up front, though, it's a battle for the race lead starting to brew here. Look at your top 2 right there. Edwards just a little bit quicker that last time. Starting to track down that 2 machine. 35 laps in, 65 to go. We'll watch it that time again. Keedeman just a little bit quicker, but they're fairly close. You can see nobody a 10th either way. Looks like Mark Keeler able to get back out in the 108 machine. Edwards in that 2nd spot, trying to track down the 2 machine of Keedeman. See him right there. Only 1 lap car up in front of him at this current moment. But look at the gap back to Matt Borndren. You really can't even see him in the corner. Your top 2 really starting to pull away. Keeler up the racetrack in the 108, giving space to your leaders. There's a lot of respect here in the Leave the Pack iRacing League. These guys have been racing together for a long time, so it is expected. As we start to get closer to the halfway point, Mark Keedeman going to click off lap number 40, and if you look in his rear view mirror, Trevor Edwards starting to get a little bit closer to the back bumper. Just a couple of car lengths separating the two. But you don't want to push the issue too hard right now and burn up those tires. If you try to pass right now too hard, you're going to burn up the tires. And here comes Brandon Elvis to the bottom. Elvis to the inside of Connor Knowlton for the third spot. Or sorry, the fourth spot. Elvis in the 4 machine going to try to get clear that time. He'll block the crossover down into 1 and 2. Move Brandon Elvis up to P4 in the number 4. We'll take that spot away from Connor Knowlton. Meanwhile, back behind him, one driver that's made quite a few passes so far, Justin Mulliken, up 7 positions from his 21st place starting spot. Trying to work his way underneath Ryan Pittman here, up in front of Trey Ashworth. That's all happening for the 13th spot. Mulliken to the bottom, a little contact there. He's going to be able to use the lap car of Mark Keeler as a pick, and he will get by Ryan Pittman in the 08. Looks like Trey Ashworth going to follow suit. Number 8 machine. You look back in, Matt Vorndren in the 00 machine, currently sitting in that 3rd spot. 3.3 seconds behind your race leaders. Keedeman has only a car length on Trevor Edwards. Edwards right now just trying to do what he can to put as much pressure on Keedeman, but also keep the tires on that race car. You see the wheel back and forth through the center of the corner. These cars are definitely not a piece of cake. They're not going to be as we get further into this run, as the tires heat up as well. As everybody still riding right now, Brandon Elvis starting to get a little bit closer to the back bumper of Matt Vorndren. You can see the battle for the 3rd spot right there. Wrong button there. I think I hit one too many 3s. There we go. Knowlton a little bit back. But Elvis right there on the back bumper hasn't quite found anything to get underneath the 00, but you see him getting very close up on the exit of the corner. Vorndren all kinds of sideways. Here comes the dive to the bottom. Brandon Elvis goes underneath. A little bit of contact there up off the corner. And it looks like Matt Vorndren going to give that spot to the 4 machine of Brandon Elvis. Down into turns 3 and 4. Move the 2-time champion up into the 3rd spot. Back to where he started. How about Justin Mulliken here? Up to the back bumper of Easton Swain. He's really putting together a charge from the B feature. As we look back up front, Mark Keedeman, just a car length advantage still over Trevor Edwards. All over the back bumper now is Edwards, starting to put a little bit more pressure on. We're past the halfway point. Keedeman has led the most laps at this point, securing himself 2 more bonus points. Or sorry, 3 more bonus points. As they work down into turns 1 and 2. Edwards really just doing everything he can right now to set up that pass. Keteman's got just a little bit of an advantage, but the 21 looks like he's able to drive that car more comfortably. You see the two kind of sliding up off the corner. Keteman right now holding the lead, but really having to work that race car. Will go on board with the 2 machine and see what he's experiencing down into 1. You see right there, that car wants to jump sideways, kind of center exit up off the corner. These street stocks can be a handful, and you're starting to see them get to that point with 40 laps to go. 40 to go. Edwards just trying to get to the back bumper of Keteman. Really trying to do something different than Keteman. Right now, I feel like they're pretty even. But Edwards just doesn't have a whole lot to get up to the back bumper and pass him just yet. Dylan Connor to the inside of Connor Knowlton. Things starting to heat up here in the top 5, or just outside the top 5, I should say. Dylan Connor going to take that 5th spot away. Here comes Murphy to the inside of Connor Knowlton. He's sideways. Knowlton sideways off the corner. Everybody hanging on to it. Down into turns 1 and 2. Now Zach Murphy going to have Justin Coleman to his outside in the 14 machine. Coleman in the 14, trying to work his way up into the 7th spot. You see the run that he gets down the back straightaway. Murphy sideways on the bottom. Wow, the tires starting to get hot in these race cars. It looks like Coleman will take that spot away. Brady Cox now going to go to the inside. Everybody's slipping and sliding. Oh, look at Justin Coleman hanging on to that race car. Now Zach Murphy and Brady Cox side by side. Brady Cox all kinds of sideways. Wow, these guys are really putting in work to drive these race cars right now. If you guys aren't entertained, I don't know what's going to do it. Look at that right there. Murphy sideways. I know everybody in this field would love to see the caution flag right now, but one driver would not. That is this man right here, Mark Keteman, coming around to lap number 70. It'll be 30 laps to go when he gets back around. .30 to go for Mark Keteman. Trying to hang on with Trevor Edwards back behind him. And they're starting to get a little bit of lap traffic up in front of them. And you can see at this point in the race, everybody's tires kind of starting to bounce around. Everybody at different points here. Coleman looking for the 6th spot underneath Connor Knowlton. Two machines started in the fifth position. Trying to hang on to 6th right now. Your top 5 is fairly spread out. Mark Keteman starting to open up that gap on Trevor Edwards. There's contact down into turn 3. Coleman on the bottom got sideways. Looks like Knowlton's going to take over that spot for now. Here comes Connor Lee to the outside lane now. Connor Lee in the 51 to the outside. Knowlton in the 2 machine is all kinds of sideways. That right rear tire has had enough on the 2 machine. All of this happening just at the edge of the top 10. Brady Cox able to get by. And the 14 of Justin Coleman back to the 9th spot. Cannot find a way around the 2 machine of Connor Knowlton. Easton Swain now to the bottom of the 14 machine. We've got 23 laps to go. .23 to go. Coleman at risk of losing that 10th spot now. Back to the 11th spot he goes, and I think that's going to be it for Justin Coleman. He's going to call it a night after that. Tough break. As Mark Keedeman now starting to open up that gap. 0.6 of a second. See a couple car lengths separating him and Trevor Edwards. We've got 15 cars left on the lead lap, and there is the caution flag. Connor Knowlton around in the number 2 machine. Tough break for Connor Knowlton. He was running in the 8th spot, I believe. And the caution flag flies. We'll see what happened. Down into turns 1 and 2. I think there was contact with Easton Swain. And then more contact with Justin Mullican. Nowhere for any of those guys to go. Zach Murphy involved as well. Oh, Brad Carpenter involved. I think that's Bailey Hughes stopped up on the top of the racetrack as well. A big mess down the back straightaway. Let's look at it one more time here. Looked like down into the corner. I think the 33 just got up the racetrack maybe just a little bit. And then nowhere for the 15 to go. You see the 08 gets tagged. Murphy gets tagged right there. And Brad Carpenter and Bailey Hughes involved after the fact. Let's watch it from their perspective here on board with the 12 machine. Looked like the 31 spun up in front of him there. Not sure if there was contact or what exactly happened, but a tough break for the number 2 machine of Connor Knowlton. Not what the other number 2 machine wanted to see either. Mark Keedeman, that lead that he had on Trevor Edwards, going to be gone here with under 20 laps to go. It'll be 15 when we send him back green. Lights drop on the iRacing.com pace car. We'll send him back green this time by. Down the back straightaway they go. And into turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Mark Keedeman, Trevor Edwards, Brandon Elvis, and Dylan Connor. Into the restart zone they go. Green flag is out. Green into turns 1 and 2. Oh, Keedeman up the racetrack a little bit. There's contact down into turns 1 and 2. And oh, Connor goes around. Connor goes around out of 2. The points leader, Dylan Connor, going around out of turns 1 and 2. Tough break for the 91 machine. There was contact, I think, center of the corner. And the caution flag flies for the 4th time here tonight. We'll see what happened to Dylan Connor in the 91. Let's see if we can't get a better look at it. I think just the bumper from the 51 of Connor Lee. Everybody else able to avoid to the bottom. But tough break for the 91. Watch it on board with Connor Lee in the 51 machine. Yeah, just a little bit of contact. I think he might have gotten, Connor might have gotten a little bit sideways there. Not quite sure. Let's see here. One more look at it. Yeah, I think just the bump right there through turns 1 and 2, and it sends him around. A couple other drivers stopped there. The 08 of Ryan Pittman as well. But back under yellow here for the 4th time. 11 laps to go. We're going to be sending them back green with 10. Lights are off. They're doubling up down the back straightaway. It'll be a 10-lap shootout at the South Boston Speedway. Pace car makes that hard left turn one more time. Into the restart zone they go. A big jump there from the 3rd place spot. Elvis gave a big boost to Mark Keedeman. He's going to be right there down the back straightaway. Into turns 3 and 4. Edwards trying to make that outside lane work here. Up the track he goes just a little bit, though. Now we're going to have to defend from Brandon Elvis to the bottom. We'll try to cross over down the back straightaway. Here comes Edwards for the 3rd spot. And the caution flag flies out back. Problems for Zach Murphy, I think, in the 29 machine. And that'll bring us back under yellow once again. We'll see what happened. Murphy was a lap down in the 16th place spot. I think he just might have broke the right front going down into the corner. Not sure what happened. Could have had some kind of technical difficulties. We'll see what it looked like from the onboard. Not sure what happened there to Zach Murphy. Huh. A tough break there for the 29 machine. Got up into the outside wall, something I've not seen in quite some time. Just got up there and it looked like he had some kind of technical difficulties from my end, but 6 laps to go here for Mark Keedeman. He's got Brandon Elvis now in the 2nd spot. Trevor Edwards going to be 3rd. Matt Borndren up to the 4th spot in the 00 machine. He started on pole in this one, but I'm sure he would be happy with the top 5 finish. We'll see if he can sneak his way onto the podium here. It'll be 5 laps to go this time. They'll get the 1 to go signal, which means we will be sending them back green with 4 laps to go. Now these drivers are given 2 attempts at the green-white checkered. We'll see if they have to use them. Keedeman and Elvis lead us down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. It's the top 2 from the last week. We'll see what happens. 4 laps to go at South Boston through the restart zone. Keedeman goes nice and early. A good jump from both drivers down into turns 1 and 2. 4 laps to go at South Boston. Elvis on the outside lane a little bit sideways in the 4 machine, trying to make the outside lane work. Keedeman through turns 3 and 4. 3 laps to go. 3 more times around for Mark Keedeman. And the caution flag is back out. We're not done just yet. Trey Ashworth collected. Brad Carpenter involved. Ryan Pittman as well in the 08. Not sure what happened. They were battling for the 11th spot. And cautions breed cautions. Let's see what happened on the front straightaway. And oh, it looked like the 15 machine of Justin Mulliken came down the racetrack there. I'm not sure if he got loose or what exactly had happened. Might have just tried to come down, or I don't know if he got loose up off. Not sure. But you see the 15 machine definitely come up off the bottom, or come up off the wall. Yeah, and it looked like he just got loose and tried to keep his foot in it. Tough break for Trey Ashworth and everybody else that was collected back behind them. Let's look at it on board from Brad Carpenter's perspective in the 31. See the wreck in front of him. He slams on the brakes and just barely gets clipped by the 8 machine of Trey Ashworth. Goes for a little slide. Carpenter, the final car on the lead lap right now. As we get the 1 to go signal, we will have 2 attempts at the green-white checkered here. We'll see if we can get it done on this first one. They had a big green flag run. Since then, it has been cautions and cautions and cautions. We'll see if Mark Keedeman can finish the job. Down into turns 3 and 4. Pace car back to the bottom side. Big jump there. And down into turns 1 and 2. Keedeman up the racetrack just a little bit. He's trying to hang on to it. But here comes Edwards down the backstretch. Through turns 3 and 4, the white flag is out. Final time around. They're beating and banging down into turns 1 and 2. There's Brady Cox in the 76. He's kind of to the back bumper of the 21. Final time down into turns 3 and 4. They're wrecking back behind. Does anybody have anything for Mark Keedeman? They're sideways through turns 3 and 4, but it's going to be Mark Keedeman winning at South Boston. Keedeman wins. Elvis comes home second. Brady Cox up into the 3rd spot. And a photo finish with Trevor Edwards there across the line. And what a finish. Mark Keedeman was able to hang on at first glance when they came down across the start-finish line on that restart. I thought Trevor Edwards might have had a pretty good shot, but I think there might have been contact with the 76 of Brady Cox. But Mark Keedeman going 2 in a row in the Street Stock Showdown. We're going to take a quick step away, folks, before we grab a word from our top 3 finishers in just one moment on the WD Broadcasting Network, but you guys won't want to miss a thing. Be back in just a moment on the WD Broadcasting Network.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn.
Alrighty, folks, back live here on the WD Broadcasting Network. We're going to get a word from our top 3 finishers. First, we're going to put our finishing results up on screen for you guys. Mark Keedeman, your winner in the number 2 machine. Brandon Elvis second. But first, let's grab a word from our 3rd place finisher here tonight, Brady Cox. Brady Cox up into the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, well, qualified in the 13th place spot here tonight, 100-lap race. Knew it was going to be a long one. You kept the tires underneath of it, and during that green flag run, you worked your way up into the top 5, had a lot of speed throughout the run, and then when it was all said and done, you were able to work your way onto the podium at South Boston. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. Like you said, I qualified 13th. Not the best qualifying spot, but I haven't been on iRacing in probably a week or two, so to get a top 3 is definitely a good feeling. And yeah, that long run definitely helped. I built up the consistency and definitely helped over the course of the race.
Yeah, that long run definitely was. We saw caution there in the beginning, and then we saw cautions at the end. But that long run really broke things up, got everybody spread out, and put some laps on the tires. And I think that made for some pretty exciting racing there at the end. But third place here tonight, Brady. Who do you have to thank for a podium finish with the Street Stock Showdown?
I gotta thank you, like always, for streaming and putting on the league for us to have fun on a Monday night. My dad for watching. My buddy Justin for spotting and watching the race. And yeah, I'm nobody else really.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Brady, on your third place spot here tonight, and hopefully we can see you next week and talk to you again.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, now to talk to our second place finisher for the second week in a row. Driver of the number 4 machine, Brandon Elvis, up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey, Winston.
Alrighty, well, second week in a row, came home in the second spot. A little bit different circumstances this time, but nonetheless, the 4 machine looked pretty speedy here tonight. Just didn't have enough laps for the 2 car.
Yeah, man, right there, those early cautions kept catching me behind somebody by a nose, so I fell back to like 6th. And then I had to just kind of bide my time and get back through the field there. And by the time I got back to 3rd, man, the leaders were 3.5, 4 seconds ahead of me. So, I mean, I felt like I was chewing into their lead, but there wasn't really nothing I could do at that point. I was so far behind, so I was trying to just save it and hope for a late race caution like we had, and just couldn't really fire off like I wanted to. Couldn't get back to the gas, but it is what it is, man. We had fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a good race. That long run kind of broke things up, and you got free of that big pack. It was pretty tough to pass when you guys were all bunched up single file, and you broke free from them and started to get to the leaders. Do you think things might have turned out a little bit different if we had a caution a little bit sooner and you got maybe more laps green with those guys up front?
I don't know, because towards the end of that longer run there, our times were very similar. I wasn't a tenth, 2 tenths faster than they were, like I was 15, 20 laps prior to that. So I don't know. It's hard to say, really. I mean, I probably would have been racing a lot harder if I was up there, so I'd have been using up more stuff anyway. So it's hard to say. Them boys are pretty good, pretty tough competitors. So just to run with them is almost like a win here lately.
Yeah, definitely have some pretty fierce competition in the Lead the Pack iRacing League. We've had some pretty good races so far this season. 2 second-place finishes for you in a row. Who do you have to thank for the back-to-back podiums?
Yeah, Chestnut Hill Restaurant, Barry Ellis Performance and Fab, Coastal Performance, ECR, my boys, Coleman Design, Mom, Dad, my wife for letting me do this, WD Broadcasting, and just want to give a special shout out to our buddy in ECR, Mr. Chris Smith. They just had their firstborn child yesterday around 2 o'clock, and little Mason, cute as a button. So I just want to say congratulations to him and his wife, and hopefully we can get one step further up on the podium next week.
Yeah, next week we go to the Indianapolis Raceway Park, and actually just pulled up this stat. ECR is undefeated at Indianapolis Raceway Park in Street Stock Showdown competition. It was Coleman the first season, and then it was Chris Smith picking up his first win last season. So maybe you're next in line.
Sounds like I'm due.
Alrighty, well, it's going to be an exciting 50 laps there next week, but nonetheless, we'll see you there, Brandon. Congratulations on your second place finish here tonight.
Thanks, Winston.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, now to talk to the man of the hour for the second week in a row. I think I kind of called this before the race, because I said last time Mark won, he won 2 in a row, and it happened again here tonight. Mark, how do you feel after winning at South Boston?
I am more plumb out. I decided that leaving my patio door open with the AC not on and the humidity that we have outside here in Iowa was a mistake. I feel like I just drove a streeter for 100 laps IRL with how bad I was sweating. Maybe I'm out of shape, maybe I'm not, who knows, but that was a hell of a race at the end. Actually, all race, really.
Yeah, Trevor was pressuring you during that long green flag run. It was long green flag run there. You guys were spread out, but man, he did not give it to you easy there. Like you said, you were really working your tail off, and it's hot out. I can imagine how you'd feel if I just ran this race. I'd probably be dripping talking to you on the mic right now, but a great run for you. Like you said, it got exciting there at the end. You had to work for it, but still found a way to get the 2 machine in victory lane. 2 in a row makes it 2 in a row and lead the pack, puts you to the rear next week at the start of the race. You think you can do it 3 in a row? You did it a couple times in supers. Can you do it in the streeters?
I don't think we can do it in the streeters. The competition in the street stocks is a little more closer together, so we could come away with a top 10 or top 5. I don't know where we go, but I'd be happy with that. I don't think we can go 3 in a row.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of passing at IRP, which is historically tough to
Oh,
pass.
yeah. Yeah,
So
I don't think that's
be
happening. We'll have to see.
it's going to be fun to watch you try next week, but nonetheless, winner here tonight, 2 in a row. Who do you have to thank for a victory in the Street Stock Showdown once again?
First of all, I got to thank Trevor for racing me so clean. He definitely had the better race card there throughout that long run, and I just got to really say hats off to him for racing me so clean, because especially towards the end, before we got that first late race caution, I was pretty much hanging on for dear life. So I just got to give a huge shout out to him. I haven't raced against him much, but I really appreciate the respect. And then just got to thank all my sponsors: Arcane Setup Shop, K Cars Race Cars, Topsoil Landscapes, Clive Power Equipment, Freezer Performance, Justin Brooks Designs, all my friends and family that watch the stream. I got to thank you for putting this deal on. Also got to thank Elvis for not running through me either, because I know I was dirt tracking the last green white checkered there, so I got to give a shout out to him too.
Yeah, it was definitely a good race up front, and you guys kept it clean. There was a couple cautions in the back, but that's always good to mix things up a little bit. But nonetheless, Mark, great win for you. Good to see you go 2 in a row. I called it before the race started. I just want to let that be known. Let the record be known. I went ahead and predicted this one. But nonetheless, congrats once again, Mark, and good luck next week at IRP.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Winston.
Yep. Alrighty, folks. That was Mark Keedeman. Always fun to talk to Mark up here in the booth. He's a great time. Good racer, as you guys can tell. He's just champion and leave the pack with the super late model division. We'll see if he can make it a street stock championship as well. Nobody has won a championship in multiple divisions throughout the different series, so it'll be exciting to see. But winner here tonight, Mark Keedeman. We'll go through the rest of the results. Brandon Nelvis 2nd, Brady Cox 3rd, Trevor Edwards 4th, Easton Swain 5th, Matt Borndren 6th, Connor Lee 7th, Justin Mullican 8th, Dylan Connor 9th, Jeremiah Woods Jr. rounds out your top 10, Brad Carpenter finishes 11th, Bailey Hughes 12th, David Rigsby 13th, Mark Keeler 14th, Trey Ashworth comes home in the 15th place spot. Then rounding out our field back behind him, it's Ryan Pittman, Zach Murphy, Connor Knowlton, Justin Coleman, Brandon Kelly, Lance Sater, and Noah Allison round out our 22-car field. But that is going to do it for us here tonight, folks. We'll put the schedule up there one more time so you guys can see where we're at next week. IRP, 5 Flags, and Slinger, your next 3, all right here on the WD Broadcasting Network. If you guys haven't, hit that red subscribe button for more iRacing and IRL content. But I'm your host, Winston Deal. We'll see you guys next time. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube if you haven't. But yeah, until next Monday, see you guys later. Peace out.